he was encountered by the police, but just prior to his arrest at the McDonald's. The other big chunk of evidence that's at play here is the backpack he was carrying and the contents of that backpack, which included the weapon used to kill the gentleman, and also some writings and other corroborative evidence of Mr. Mangione's plan.
What has stood out to you overall about what we've learned over the first 3 days of the hearing?
Well, I think you see Mangione actively participating in his defense. He's obviously very bright and insightful. I think as far as the testimony, nothing real surprising. They read him his rights fairly quickly. They detained him, and I think their position, the state's position, is going to be that they arrested him fairly quickly after he gave the fake ID. So that will probably justify the search of the backpack. But the defense is using this hearing. Obviously, a home run for the defense would be to exclude some of his statements or exclude the contents of the backpack. But another purpose is for the defense to flesh out testimony in detail of police officers and others under oath so that they know what to expect at trial.
Given the nature of the case, the presence of supporters actually lining up outside to get into the hearing, could seating an impartial jury be a little bit more challenging if there is a trial held here?
There's no doubt that the publicity of this case and a prospective juror's knowledge of the case will be an issue during jury selection. Typically, judges and courts can handle this by calling a larger than usual panel. Sometimes they call as many as 200 or 300 people to get 12 jurors. So obviously a very initial screening question will be, have you heard about this case? That doesn't disqualify if you've heard about the case. And you also have to have an opinion about the case based on what you've heard. So that's going to take a lot of time, yes.
What do we need to be watching for here as the hearing does continue? Again, not quite clear if Mangione is healthy enough to be there on Monday for day 4 or if they're going to postpone it again. But what do we need to be watching for next week in the hearing?
I think just the specific testimony of the officers about what Mangione said, some of that's already come out. But obviously, I'm interested in the judge's rulings. Is he going to exclude any of the evidence? Obviously, excluding the contents of the backpack would be huge for the defense, but I'd be very surprised if that happens.
My last question here, your thoughts, and I love to talk to folks about this because obviously, you know, I'm a reporter at heart, so I know that we do prefer cameras in the courtroom because we're able to show how everything plays out. But from a legal perspective, do you believe that there should be cameras allowed inside of the courtroom here as all of this plays out? And does that make any difference?
Generally speaking, a nondescript camera in a courtroom doesn't affect things greatly, in my opinion. However, the judges and the prosecutors and the lawyers that I've been in front of when there's a camera in the courtroom do behave differently. They're more rigid, they're more firm in their stances, they're aware that the public is watching. So there's a real debate here. I kind of side with allowing cameras in the courtroom if it can be done discreetly. And if a witness that's going to testify can say, I don't want to be put on camera, that is honored by some courts. And I appreciate that type of restriction on the coverage of a camera in a courtroom. However, I do think it's important for the public to see the proceedings, at least in part, to have an understanding of due process as it occurs.
Thank you so much for taking the time, Sam Bassett, for being here with us and helping to discuss this. Anything else that you want to add? Anything we missed here before I let you go?
Obviously a big case, and a lot of eyes will be on it. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
All right. Thank you again for being here. We definitely appreciate it. Week 2 of the Luigi Mangione pretrial hearing expected to start back up tomorrow. That is, if the accused killer is no longer sick. Friday was set to be day 4 for Mangione, who police say assassinated United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson just over a year ago in Midtown Manhattan. But the judge canceled the hearing after the defense attorney announced that Mangione was sick. Lisa Evers at our Fox 5 New York station has been in the courtroom following all of the latest developments. She joins us now to talk all about it. Lisa, thank you so much for being here with us, as always.
Well, thank you so much, Josh. Actually, I've been outside the courthouse doing interviews with lawyers and doing debriefs with the different reporters that were inside the courtroom on this particular one, because we've had so much demand for it. And also we needed legal analysis really to understand what was going on here, because as you saw in some of the video, the video that you just showed, one of the lawyers that is on Mangione's defense team is Mark Agnifilo, who was the lead lawyer for the Diddy trial. He's not the lead lawyer for Mangione, but his wife is, Karen Friedman Agnifilo. And it's just, there's been so much going on. You know, first we saw, the other thing that was significant is this past week, Thursday was December 4th. That was the 1-year anniversary to the date that United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down in a shocking shooting in Midtown Manhattan while he was here in New York for a conference. So that kind of cast a certain, I don't know what to say, maybe vibe over the whole day. There was no court on Wednesday. They had the day off. So basically, Mangione's been in court 3 days out of 5 days last week. And then we found out early Friday morning at the last minute that there was no court because he claimed that he was sick. So, you know, you can't question that. We don't know. He's staying. The other thing that's important about this too, like Monday morning he came in, he was all smiles. He's looking at different people. The photos, we had a lot of, they've given us a still. There's a still pool photographer in the courtroom, because you can imagine what the media level of interest is in this. It's national and international. So they allow a still photographer who's a pool, like this is one of the photos. And the first day he was there, he's smiling. He's allowed to wear the suit jacket that you see in a collared shirt. That's his approved prison and jail outfit for this particular pretrial hearing series, and he's allowed to do that. But then as the days wore on, by Tuesday he came in, he was looking, exhausted. Thursday he was, much more tired, less animated. Thursday he seemed to be back on his game. He was taking notes. He was more interactive. He was paying a lot of attention to the testimony, because most of that testimony was coming from Pennsylvania police officers. All of these police officers who were involved in that McDonald's in Altoona, Pennsylvania, that was leading up to his arrest and in the time after his arrest. But to really focus on what's critical in this, I interviewed more than half a dozen lawyers last week for various shows that we have here on Fox 5 and nationally and live now. And every single one of them said that this is the type of pretrial hearing. Sometimes, Josh, sometimes they're fairly routine. They're over in a day or two. They said this one is already going a lot longer with 3 days under the belt. A lot longer than most of them. They expect it to go longer because of, the high stakes here. He's facing murder charges, and other charges which could lead, keep him behind bars for the rest of his life. But the focus is, they said, this is the type of pretrial hearing that can actually determine what the outcome of the real trial, the actual trial is, with a verdict that could have a play with that. Because in play, Josh, is the backpack will the backpack be admissible? Was he questioned in violation of his Miranda rights? Because police talked to him for nearly 20 minutes before they gave him said, you have the right to remain silent, the thing that, a lot of people that watch police shows know by heart. But that's a huge breach of his constitutional rights. And the backpack, the search of the backpack that he has, you see what is believed to be him and his backpack, and then what prosecutors are saying is that the search of the backpack was done without a search warrant. Now, there's a provision, as you know, Josh, probable cause. You're looking at the gun, some of the things that prosecutors say were in the were in the backpack. There's a probable cause. Obviously, if law enforcement feels that what's in that backpack may cause immediate harm to them or to any, innocent people that happen to be around in that vicinity, they're allowed to go in. Like, for example, if they feel there's a bomb or there's something ticking or there's a suspicious smell or anything that indicates it's suspicious. So the defense is trying to use that argument to say the backpack should not be in. Prosecutors are doing everything that they can in order to convince this judge, leave that backpack in as evidence for the trial because it's got the 3D printed 9mm gun that was allegedly used in the shooting, which NYPD and the FBI will be able to prove, supposedly, from what we're hearing. With ballistics, they have very sophisticated ballistics, and I know for a fact with NYPD they have very sophisticated ballistics analysis. They're in, and it's coordinated into national databases. So if they're able to match the bullet, the bullet that killed, that killed Brian Thompson with the ballistics from that particular gun, that's a piece. But if they don't have the gun admitted as evidence, that's going to be a big problem for them. Josh, the other thing is, remember we were hearing about the manifesto, and this manifesto that it's been described as a manifesto. It's actually a notebook. Prosecutors went even a little further and said that there was actually a detailed plan of how he was going to kill Brian Thompson. And then the manifesto part was all of the writing about the rants against the healthcare system, the injustices of it, the hatred for it, all of these types of things. So it's just that there's a lot of key evidence that is in there, and there's a note with, my survival kit. And, all of this, they were able to arrest him in the first place in Pennsylvania. Was, somebody spotted him, they called the police. And then the Pennsylvania police got him first on having a fake ID, which he had a fake New Jersey driver's license. So there's a lot of places this can fall down. Now, some of the defense attorneys said, hey, even without the backpack, they still have other evidence that will be very, very, very good in terms of the video surveillance, in terms of putting together one of these link chains where here he is coming out of here he is coming out of there, here's the bus ticket, and that type of thing. But I mean, it's not as compelling. The defense attorneys were telling me, not as compelling as when you have the actual backpack that you see in the video with the actual gun that matches, that matches the bullet, that was used to kill Brian Thompson. So there's a lot of attention on this. There've been some of his supporters have been outside, but Josh, just a lot of questions and, very, very high stakes for a pre-trial hearing. It's almost could be more important than the actual trial in itself.
And I did want to ask you, kind of touch there on the supporters. We know that as the case has played out, you've seen folks who are there outside of the courtroom. You had some folks at one point who are wearing Luigi costumes from Mario and Luigi. You had other people who have been holding signs. Are you still seeing that same type of presence from the supporters that we did see about a year ago?
Not to the same level because of a couple of reasons. One, the weather here last week was brutal, and by Thursday in particular, we didn't see anybody, but they had set up. There was a group that had started to set up those small tents. I don't know what brand they are or what they're described, like we would call a pup tent, but it's like those small tents that we saw on the Columbia University campus during that standoff and that sit-in. And there were very few there. Thursday, I didn't see any that were out there. And then the other thing that's changed is he's now been, he's been charged. So they're not walking him down the hallway of the courthouse, which is a very old, this criminal court is the state court. It's a very, very old building. The hallways are very narrow. It's not like the complete opposite of federal court here in Manhattan. Very narrow hallways. So if you're standing, the court officers would set up barricades, spectators on one side, media on the other side. But you're only like a couple feet away from, if that, from him when he was walking down the courtroom. Now he comes in the back door because, of course, he's in detention. He's being held. He was charged in the federal case, which is, I'm told, will come after the state case. So he's being held in the famous notorious MDC, the Metropolitan Detention Center, which is the federal jail in Brooklyn. That's where Diddy was before he got switched to the low, and it's a maximum security facility. That's very old. Has had a lot of problems over the years. It's been cited by everyone from Congress, members of Congress, to to prison rights advocates because of the conditions that were there. We ended up doing a story there several years ago because they were pounding on the inmates were pounding on the windows. There was no heat and that type of thing, and it was in a pretty bad situation. But so he comes in a back door. He's not down the hallway. But I think as things get going, as the actual trial starts, they're preparing for much larger crowds already. They were prepared for large crowds this week in terms of the barricades, the policing, the staffing, the additional officers, additional court officers. And this is part of a big jail complex and law enforcement complex. And the other thing too is because he's at a federal prison, he's not part of the regular transport schedule. So maybe Monday night, one lawyer speculated he might have had to wait several hours in order to get an escort back into the MDC, into the federal jail where he's staying. So we'll see what happens, but I expect that to pick up a tremendous amount. And remember too, he's got the legal defense fund going on the website that his lawyer set up. That's well over $1.5 million by this point that they've raised without actively fundraising. It's just people can donate if they want to donate. So we're expecting the level of the supporters to come out. But I mean, what a tragedy that this man's doing his job. He's doing his job. He's in Midtown Manhattan. And the shocking nature of it, it's like this is outside the Hilton Hotel so early in the morning. I still have questions about who was he talking to? There was video of him, pictures of him talking on the phone beforehand. Who was he? How did he know at that very moment? It was dark because it was like 6 o'clock, around 6 o'clock-ish in the morning, very early in the morning. So who was he talking to? I mean, how did he know at that very moment that Brian Thompson would be coming out that door? Because the conference was taking place at, I believe, at the hotel that he was staying at. So there would have been no need to really go out unless he wanted to stretch his legs and get some air. But there's a lot of questions that are going to come up with this, but it's going to be a lot harder for his defense team to try to convince the jury and try to get some reasonable doubt when sitting there in the courtroom. In the courtroom as evidence is that backpack, the gun, the notebook, and the actual writings. Those are very, very powerful. Josh?
Yeah, there are so many questions here, and we could get some more answers inside that courtroom as everything does resume allegedly tomorrow. Of course, we don't know if Luigi Mangione will still be sick or how all of that will play out. But of course, we'll keep in touch with you, Lisa, and the other folks there at Fox 5 New York to keep updated. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today. We appreciate it as always.
Josh, my pleasure, and thank you for having me on Live Now again. Shout out to all the Live Now viewers.
And you are taking a look here at some of those artist renderings, the sketches there from inside the courtroom. Also, as Lisa mentioned, there are the different still photos as cameras are not allowed inside the courtroom. Speaking, of course, about news cameras there. However, we do have the reporters that are inside, so we'll make sure to bring you any updates on these hearings here on Live Now from Fox the second we get them.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack. Senator Chuck Schumer holding his weekly Sunday press conference.
Okay. So thank you for being here, and go Bills. They're playing at 1 o'clock against Bengals. You know I'm a Bills fan. Giants have the week off, so I don't have to say anything about them. Okay, and the Knicks. Knicks are in first place, so that's good too. Anyway, we're here today because this upcoming week, President Trump is going to pretend he's focused on lowering costs who go to the grocery store, buy clothes, have basic needs. The president says he's going to... The president said he's going to tour the country, but people are not stupid. Costs are not down, they're going up. The president has even said affordability is a scam. What kind of bubble does he live in? He doesn't have to go to the supermarket every week and pay $200-300. He doesn't have to look to buy a car where the costs are way up. He doesn't have to look at his electricity bill or his health care bill, which are dramatically up. He's in a bubble when he says affordability is a scam. And if you ever wanted proof that they don't understand what affordability is, well, listen to this. Today, he is making things even worse. He's making things when it comes to cost.
This week's Taste in Chicago is all about Bears football,
Bears.
food, and the best game day eats in the city.
Israel Adonijah.
We're hitting 4 top sports bars filled with big flavors and even bigger fan energy.
Let's go Bears.
Gear up, dig in, and let's kick off Tasting Chicago Bears Edition.
First up, we're headed to a place that has been popular since the 70s. We're talking a place where the burgers are stacked and the vibe is old school cool. Let's head inside to RJ Grunt's in Lincoln Park. Come on. So here we are at RJ Grunt's, and we are met by Chef Janet. Thank you so much for having us here.
Welcome.
Okay,
Welcome.
love this place. When I think of RJ Grunt's, I think nostalgia.
Absolutely.
And tell everybody why, if you've never been here before.
Well, RJ Grunt's is the first of Rich Melman's Let Us Entertain You restaurants. It's been here 54 years, just as popular today as it was decades ago. We're known for nostalgic foods as well as great burgers, wraps, wings, nachos, anything that is comforting and delicious and comfortable. You know, it's 70s vibe, it's 70s music. It's fun.
You just want people to come in and relax and have
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
And it's a great game day eats spot.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've got to talk about the decor because I love looking at your walls. Tell me what these walls are all about.
Yeah, so the walls are packed with photographs of all the employees.
These are employees.
These are employees who have worked here over the last 5 decades.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is the feel you went. I also heard it's extremely family friendly.
Oh, absolutely. Strollers get parked out front, and you know, people of all ages, from the people who have been coming here for 50 years,
Generations.
as well as their offspring and friends and all kinds of people every day.
That is so cool. Okay, love the vibe, but now we got to talk food.
Absolutely.
And you have some of your highlights set up, so let's head over here.
Yes.
You can tell me what you have. So, Chef, this is an unbelievable spread. These
Yes.
are just some of the highlights from the menu. So let's get started. What do we have?
Well, here we have our California chicken wrap. Fried chicken tenders, avocado, ranch dressing, lettuce, tomato, our homemade cottage fries, chicken wings. Can't go wrong with chicken
Right.
wings.
Game day, you got to eat the wings,
Yes.
right?
So barbecue sauce. We also have buffalo sauce as well as spicy buffalo sauce, all of which are very popular. So with our nachos, incorporating our buffalo chicken.
Okay. Well, those are some of the most gorgeous nachos I think I've ever
Yes,
seen.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then you have not one but 2 specialty burgers. Tell me about these.
Yes, this is actually my favorite. This is the Grunt Burger. So our 8-ounce beef patty with blue cheese dressing right on top of the patty and French fried onion.
And then this is kind of your basic version?
Yeah, our basic cheddar burger. But you know, when you start with great ingredients, you have very easy to make a great burger.
Okay, and then we're moving on to this finally.
Oh my God! So a slab of baby back ribs, French fries, coleslaw, and you know, if you need it, more barbecue sauce.
All looks amazing. We've got the beer
Yeah.
there. And we were talking about nostalgia, and I guess shakes are a big part of
Yes,
this, huh?
yeah. You can turn a shake into a malt, and strawberry, raspberry, chocolate. So we've got so much variety.
Oh my gosh, this is so good.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
good. Okay, so What do you want people to know then about RJ Grunts? If they've never been, why they should come?
You know what? It is a blast to the past. The food is spectacularly comforting, delicious. It's got a 70s vibe with the 70s music playing all day long.
Well, I have to say, it's been a while since I've been here. I'm so glad I'm back. I took a sip out of this one. I'm going to give you the chocolate.
Well, good.
Because what I want
you.
to say is thank you for having us, and cheers to
Cheers.
you and RJ Grunt.
All right,
Ready?
thank you. It's my
See?
favorite.
Okay, when
Yeah.
the chef loves it, you know it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's our first stop. Next, we're heading to spot number 2.
Next, we're at a location where the wings are the spotlight. The TVs are always tuned in to the big game. It's loud, it's lively, and it is Jake Melnick's.
Okay, I have been seated and I am with Chef Keith Stodola. Thank you for having us.
Oh, you're
Wow.
welcome.
Okay, let's just begin with this.
It's-
Because everybody knows about the wings
Yeah.
at Jake Melnick's, right?
This is what we're known for. It's our wings. This is our actual game day tower. It's 4 varieties of wings. You can get them bone in like we have, or you can get them boneless, or you can get a whole entire tower of just our quadruple X
Okay,
wings.
Tell everybody about these quadruple. I will not be eating these or trying these, and tell them why I won't be.
So our quadruple X is our spicy wing. It's very hot. It has Carolina Reapers, ghost pepper, habanero, and scorpion peppers. In fact, when we started this, we actually had to have the Secret Service get us permission to get them delivered to us because it was considered a lethal thing because it was used in
Pepper spray, I heard.
Yes.
So it was so lethal that you had to get clearance from Homeland Security to be able to use this. Now,
these peppers. Now we can get them from anybody.
Yeah, but I'm not eating anything called a Reaper pepper, okay? When you describe Jake Melnick's to somebody who's never been here,
Yeah.
how do you describe the vibe?
To me, this is a Chicago bar. We specialize in sports. We have enough televisions that on a Saturday during college football season, you could sit down and be able to get your game, but everybody else is able to. And then on Sundays especially, we have televisions everywhere that we give all the NFL games in here. But at the same time, it's like that local community bar that everybody goes to. The locals come in and they drink and they have a good time and then they go home. It's fun, it's exciting, and then you get our wings and our good food on top
So
of
this
that.
is the bar where everybody knows your name, right? Sound familiar?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna say that, but
I
you
said
did.
it for you.
Yeah.
So it's about the wings, but you've also got some other highlights. Now, walk me through what else we have.
This season, and this season only, for Bears games, we are serving a bear claw pretzel. That it's a big giant pretzel for a group of 4 or more. It comes with our cheese sauce, a pimento cheese, and then the mustard. But it's only for Bears games. So when the Bears are playing either Sunday, Monday, or Thursday, we will have it.
Okay, oh, look at this. I'm taking off one of the fingers. Oh, and pimento cheese and ooh. Okay, tell me what else you have while I taste test for you.
So we have, during Saturdays and Sundays right now, we're doing a brunch special that is, it's our version of chicken and waffles. So it's chicken wings, waffles, we have 3 different kinds of syrup, and then we have our breakfast burger. This is a killer burger in my opinion.
Tell us why.
Because it's our smashed patties with cheddar cheese, but then it has this maple bacon onion jam that we make. It's a fried egg and a little chipotle mayo on it. And we're serving it with our waffle fries.
Let's both you and I try. Which one are we
We're gonna
tasting?
try the pancho wing. These are amazing. In fact, these are Nate Bargatze's favorite wings. We found out on Colbert. He mentioned it for us.
Okay, here I go. And I just dipped it in what kind of sauce?
That is our blue cheese.
Ooh. Oh, that's delicious, isn't it? You did good.
They're-
Okay, tell everybody where you're located.
We're located at 41 East Superior, and it's a fun place to hang out.
Oh, well, I have had so much fun, Chef. Thank you so much. Go Bears.
Go Bears.
Melnick's.
spot is where football pride is on full display, owned by former Chicago Bear Israel Adonijah and built for diehard fans. Welcome to the Staley. And this spot is a super fan's dream with 8,900 square feet, 16 TV screens, 2 jumbo. It's amazing. And here's the man himself, Israel Adonijah. Izzy, nice to see you.
Welcome to the Staley.
Oh my gosh. So first of all, Israel, I love the Staley. This is my first time here.
Welcome.
It's beautiful. I will be coming back. How long have you been open, and what do you want people to know about the Staley?
Yeah, we've been open for about 9 months now, and this has just been a really special project. Previous to us taking over the space, it was a Packer bar, right? And
as in Green Bay?
Green Bay.
Are you kidding?
Just disgusting, right? and because it's so proximate, it's the closest bar to Soldier Field. Everybody still had to come here and hang out before and after Bears games because it was just the location was phenomenal. It's such a great location. So it was an absolute privilege and honor to convert this bar to what it should be, a proper Bears bar. Let's go Bears, who are now 4 wins in a row, right?
How amazing is
that,
right?
So good.
Okay, and I can't talk to you without talking to you about your time with the Bears. You're a defensive lineman. Yeah. Tell me about those memories that you have of playing during that time and what it means to kind of really come back full circle.
I mean, what an incredible chapter in my life, right? My 10 years that I was fortunate to play in what I consider the greatest sports city in the world, Chicago. It was just really special. Over those years, we had one of the best defenses, in the league, across the league, and we didn't really know how special what we had was, right? It's just like to be able to play with Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, to be able to make it to a Super Bowl, right? Just these memories that we were fortunate to build together will last a lifetime. And it was a really special time for us as players and our relationship really with the fans of the city.
Okay, now we've got some beautiful cocktails in front of us, and it's amazing. You can come here, you can have great drinks, and the food, I think, is 2.0 when I think of bar food. So we've got to talk about that. So let's bring some of that in,
All right,
okay?
let's bring in some great food.
Okay.
I mean, I hope you're hungry.
I'm hungry, always hungry.
Wings are big here. You can get them bone-in or boneless. Here we have our buffalo style, bone-in and boneless. We can get it with our own house-made ranch dressing. These are also delicious, our garlic Parmesan wings. And then we have here our loaded nachos, brisket, nachos, cheese, fresh baby tomatoes. Our pizzas are also very big. Here we have our sweet heat. It's our pepperoni pizza with some hot honey. And then we have our buffalo chicken pizza. Again, it's buffalo sauce, it's chicken, it's creamy, absolutely delicious. And this year, it's been an incredibly special partnering with the Chicago Bears to bring our loaded mac and cheese to Soldier Field all season long. You can get it level 2 and 3 in the United Club, and our chicken sandwich also at Soldier Field.
So you have your loaded mac and cheese and your chicken sandwich at Soldier Field.
Yep.
How exciting. How did that come about?
Yeah, so we partnered with Levy Foods, and they were looking to bring restaurateurs that represent Chicago, restaurateurs that are local to Soldier Field to be a part of this incredible community that is, Chicago Bears culture and football. And, we're just so grateful for Levy to select us as one of the groups to participate in the program and bring our experience here at Staley to Bears fans at Soldier Field.
Now, I know once a Bear, always a Bear.
Always,
but
always.
You have really managed to continue this kinship, this brotherhood with the family of the Chicago Bears after leaving playing the game. And I know you guys always stay in touch, but this has to be extremely special for you to be able to continue this legacy, and you're doing it at Soldier Field.
Absolutely. I mean, I think when I think of my time with the Bears, right, it does bring to mind family first, right? These are relationships that I'll hold dear a lifetime. And although I'm not on the field playing, I still feel like we're a part of the family. I still feel like I am a Bear for life. And not just from a player standpoint, but now working with the leadership and the corporate office, people that helped guide me at 21 when I got here are relationships that I'm now near and dear with at 44, right? And it's just been really special.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure what we're about to cheers with, but can I just say cheers to you. Congratulations
Cheers.
on a successful continuing career, and thank you for having us.
Cheers.
Here's to this daily.
Bear down.
So now we're in Uptown at Michael's Pizzeria and Tavern. It's been here for more than 30 years. They're known for their chicken wings and their cult favorite pizza. As a matter of fact, they just received a review from Dave Portnoy's Barstool Sports. If you're a local, you know. If you're not, we're going to find out what makes it so special. And the person who's going to help us with that is one of the managers, Mario Espinoza. Hey, Mario, great to see you.
Nice to see you.
Okay, tell everybody, what is it about this place that people keep coming back for more?
It's the experience that you get at no bar in the city. It's a home away from home. The comfort, the friendliness of the staff, and the pizza. The pizza brings everybody back.
What don't I love? The pizza's fantastic, from the deep dish to the Chicago-style tavern pizza. The staff is also super friendly, and honestly, for like the value, the price point, it's kind of like a city oasis in a sense. You know, you're not going to pay an arm and a leg coming here. Always surprised. Sometimes I'm like, when I look at the bill, it's like, did you forget something?
40 TVs.
40 TVs. And what is it that makes a sports fan love this place so much?
The pizza, the beer, and the feel of fantasy football, that you can watch every game at any time. It's just football heaven for Sundays.
For Sundays, and you guys are probably packed.
Slam packed.
Okay, what do you suggest for people who've never been and want to get in on a Bears game day or something?
We let the doors open at about 10:30 in the morning, and by 11 o'clock we are full. Yeah. I just did a video on social media about a speed run, about how long it took to get this place packed, and it was about 25 minutes.
25 minutes. It doesn't take long. As I said, though, besides the fact that the ambiance and the atmosphere is awesome, we're talking about the food. So let's go. You're going to show me what it's all about, right?
I will.
Mario, I'm so excited to try this. Do you eat this pizza every day?
Every day I can.
What's your favorite?
The Michael Special, I think, is the best combination of flavors.
Okay. Oh, and the wings.
And here we go. We got our delicious hot wings.
Okay, right here.
Buffalo style hot wings. A pepperoni pizza, tavern style, and a sausage pizza, tavern style.
Nice.
The Michael's is definitely the most popular we have.
So what's on this?
Sausage, mushroom, green pepper, and onion. The combination of the sauce and the cheese just makes this perfect. Look at that.
That cracker crust holds up.
Right?
Wow. And I have to say, the sauce.
No flop.
No, the sauce is delicious.
A little sweet? You like that?
I like that. It has a little sweetness to it, but not too much.
No, just enough.
Yeah. Okay, I'm giving us plates now because I think we need to try these wings too. I love it. Let's talk about Barstool Sports.
Okay.
They came in.
Yes, they came in on a Sunday, winter Sunday. You know, they always call and they give a different name, so you're not prepared. He came in, he gave us a review. It was a funny little story that they did with one of the servers here. What is Barstool?
Barstool Sport is a digital media company that produces content focused on sport and pop culture.
That's really cool, man. Hey, who's Dave Portnoy?
Dave Scott Portnoy is an American internet celebrity.
No. Shh. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Dave Portnoy is my best friend. He's my pana.
He did the review outside. I believe he gave us a 7.6.
For Chicago, tavern style, it's as good as I've ever had. I'm gonna go all the way up to a 7.6, which is a very high score for me.
Finally, Mario, what do you want to tell people who've never been here before so that you can get them in here to try this themselves?
Oh, you're missing out. This is a special place, and it's, you know, if you're older, you remember Cheers. You know, and it's just a feel that you don't get at any other bar in the city. It's nostalgia, it's friendliness. The staff is great, the pizza's great. Your pocket's not going to hurt. It's the best sports bar, I think, in the city.
Well, cheers to that. Thank you for having us, Mario.
Thank you.
Chicago's famous World Columbian Exposition of 1893 introduced many firsts: the zipper, the Ferris wheel, the automatic dishwasher, and this. Vienna beef hot dogs, still made in Chicago today.
Vienna is just one of those classic, iconic Chicago companies, so everyone gets really excited.
Taylor and Jack Bodman are brother and sister and just 2 of 7 children of the family patriarch, Jim Bodman. Jim bought the company more than 60 years ago. He had originally been a warehouse employee, and today, Jim and the Bodman family still take pride in the original all-beef recipe that is now shipped to hot dog stands, grocery stores, and restaurants around the country.
The hot dogs we make every day, we start from scratch in the morning, and the idea is that we want to be able to make product and ship it in the same day.
The factory starts early in the morning, cranking out thousands of hot dogs and sausages. It's not only a family-owned company, but also a business that runs like a family.
I'm Chicago born, grew up in Chicago, so working for a company that is Chicago based, that caters to this type of environment, very family orientated.
That was part of one of my interview questions. Why did I want to work here? And I said, because I want to make the best hot dog. So here I am 8 years later, still making the best hot dog in the world.
But let's go back more than 130 years ago when Vienna beef first made a name for itself. It started out when 2 Austrian-Hungarian brothers sold their sausages to visitors at the World Exposition. It was such a hit that a year later, they opened a storefront. The Chicago-style hot dog is said to have gotten its start from those street cart vendors during the Great Depression, selling a hot meal on a bun for only a nickel. The story goes that Chicago's ethnically diverse communities started adding their own toppings, and that's how the classic Chicago-style hot dog was born. Vienna beef, yellow mustard, that neon green relish, fresh chopped onion, 2 tomato wedges, 2 sport peppers, a dash of celery salt, a pickle smeared on a poppy seed bun. And Chicagoans know there's one thing that doesn't belong.
There's some people that are pushing the idea of something other than mustard, but
he's not saying the word. We're not even going to mention
it.
Does it start with a K?
It might.
Nobody puts ketchup on a hot dog.
Okay, so definitely none of that red stuff, but there's one final must, and that is the all-important snap.
Well, the snap is extremely important, regardless of the type of hot dog you're making, natural casing or skinless. It's supposed to have a nice texture, a bite, so when you eat it, you have a nice firm texture.
The Vienna Beef Factory store is located right across the street from the production facility in Bridgeport. It sells all Vienna beef products, including the Italian beef, the celery salt, the pickles, and all the trimmings. And you can order hot dogs to go. Vienna beef hot dog stands have become part of the Chicago landscape. You can find them in almost every neighborhood and now beyond. The website even has a Vienna beef locator if you want authenticity, no matter where you travel. And some of these stands have earned the prestigious honor of being named to the Vienna Beef Hall of Fame.
They have to be, a Vienna beef customer for probably, 20, 25 years, and they get nominated. And it's a really exciting time for them. We try to have some news stations come in and just shine a light on them, because it's not easy, owning a hot dog stand. It's 7 days a week work, and we're really, really grateful to have them as our customers.
For the Bodman family, it's all about carrying on the tradition of the iconic Vienna beef name. So when someone bites into their delicious hot dog and hears that famous snap, it tastes like memories.
Our goal is to make a product today that is the same as it was when people went when they were with their parents when they were little kids. Things were different, or people didn't have that connection to their youth, we wouldn't be here.
Italian beef, the authentic Chicago sandwich.
It's a lot of beef. I love it.
Yeah. Sweet bell peppers.
Wow, look at that. Ta-da!
Whether it's dry, dipped, fully dunked, or as they say, baptized, it all started in the Windy City.
How beautiful is that?
Ask any Chicagoan where they can find the best Italian beef, and you're going to get a variety of passionate answers. But there's one Chicago family that's been doing it for more than 40 years.
There's Joe, Carlo, John, Jimmy, and Don. And if you say those 5 names, you hit everybody.
Meet the Bonavolontos. You likely know them as Bona Beef.
This is truly about family, isn't it?
You may have heard earlier, but it was always my dad's dream to be in business with his sons. 43 years later, not only is he in business with his sons,
with his 19 grandchildren.
Dad is Joe Bonavolonto. He and his wife Peggy started Bona Beef in 1981 after taking out a second mortgage on their home. And Joe Sr. actually dug the foundation of their very first restaurant in Berwyn. The goal was to have the family work together, so the 5 brothers minus their sister became the names and faces of Bona Beef, and they're still slicing up the recipe Dad and Mom perfected decades ago.
We use a top sirloin, and the top sirloin is the most flavorful piece of meat. We cook and slice about 5 million pounds of beef a year.
This plant in Bedford Park is where everything is made and packaged. Ask them the secret to their success and they'll tell you it's all about the gravy made from the beef drippings, released when the meat is slow roasted to perfection.
They're so passionate about this Italian beef that we kid around. We say that them two have beef gravy running through their veins and not blood. So
our Italian beef goes through a process. It takes about 6 hours to cook.
It's packaged and sold to retail and restaurants. But over the years, the company has grown with 36 restaurants that offer a lot more than Italian beef. And 3 generations of family members are now involved.
It's really the passion that we have and the family the 3 generations. It's a testament to our mother and father, how we were raised.
Italian beef in Chicago has a great history. It's said to date back to the early 1900s when Italian Americans considered it an inexpensive food designed to feed as many people as possible. It has become a Chicago staple, but has seen a substantial rise in popularity after the release of the TV show The Bear.
25 pounds? No, I ordered 200.
That's increased the sales of Italian beef, and the Bona Beef family is feeling the impact.
Our online business has been booming, and that's where we're getting a lot of people wanting to do franchises in other states right now. So we've been a beneficiary of the show.
And they've also benefited from their commitment to family. It was their family values that resulted in a beautiful marriage only possible here in Chicago. A collaboration with another Chicago staple, the original Rainbow Cone. Now, you can find several Bona locations with a rainbow cone attached.
It's your own personal rainbow cone. Enjoy. You're welcome.
You can't get more Chicago than the original Rainbow Cone and Bona Beef.
Italian beef toast. Italian beef for everyone.
Cheers.
Dig in.
Cheers.
This week's Taste in Chicago is all about Bears football,
Bears.
food, and the best game day eats in the city.
Now at 9, a fun game ends in defeat for the Bears after a heartbreaking turnover in the final seconds against the rival Packers. A police officer shot while responding to an altercation on the south side. How he is doing tonight. And our region continues to clean up after more snow fell overnight.
Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News Sunday.
Thank you for being with us tonight. I'm Dawn Hasbrook. Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls is in the Weather Center with the latest forecast. Emily.
Hello. So we picked up quite a bit of snow last night, everything ranging from 1 up to about 7.1 inches, just depending on where you were at. But the heaviest snow that fell across northern Illinois. Take a look at what we've been dealing with so far this season, though. The snow season, it's just sort of beginning to ramp up, but we've already seen 17.1 inches of snowfall this snow season. Just to kind of put that number in perspective. So last year, the 24-25 season, we only had 17.6 inches of snow in total. So we're already coming up on that number, and it's only the beginning of December. And this is actually the quickest start to the snowfall season since 1978. And I wanted to show you this map as well. It's not just us. Take a look at all of the snow cover across the upper Midwest, down through the Great Lakes region, over toward the Northeast. 38.1% of the United States is covered in snow at this time, compared to just last month at 2.5%. Your temperatures outside right now, it is cold. We're down to 5 degrees in Woodstock, 9 in DeKalb. It's 17 at O'Hare, still 28 degrees in Gary. That's one of our warmer spots, but once you factor in the wind, it's much colder. Forecast low temperatures tonight are going down into the single digits for many of us. I'll have your full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Emily. The biggest test of the season for the Bears, the rival Green Bay Packers. And they came up just short. Caleb Williams throwing an interception in the final seconds to stop what would have been another terrific comeback. Tina Nguyen is here to break it all down. Tina.
Yeah, Don, Bears and Packers, the oldest rivalry in pro football. It escalated in January when head coach Ben Johnson took a jab at Matt LaFleur. And just 3 days ago, Micah Parsons called the Bears disrespectful. That brings us to today, the first of 2 high-stakes matchups over a 3-week span. But after winning 5 straight and with first place in the NFC North on the line, the Bears came back down to earth as we go ahead and show you the highlights. The first time since 1932 where both teams are playing each other with a 700 win percentage or better. Second quarter here, Packers up 7-3. Jordan Love deep over the middle to a Bo Melton for a 41-yard touchdown. Love finished with 234 yards and 3 touchdowns. Bears down 14-3 at the half. Third quarter, same score. First and goal, Caleb Williams to Olamide Zaccheaus there. The diving touchdown, just beautiful. A dime through the defender's hand, and Zaccheaus with a great grab. Fourth quarter, Bears down 21-14. Third and goal, Caleb Williams hits a wide open, the rookie Colson Loveland for the score. Bears fighting back down 11 to tie the game. Next Packers drive, 3rd and 1. Josh Jacobs with a huge 21-yard run for a first down into the red zone. Later in the drive, 3rd and goal, Jacobs up the middle for the touchdown. Packers take back the lead 28-21. Under half a minute left. Bears on the Green Bay 14. Caleb Williams throwing to the end zone. Picked off by Keyshawn Nixon here. Bears lose 28-21. Their 5-game win streak is done. They failed to win back-to-back games against Green Bay for the first time since 2007.
Obviously, our goal is to win every single game, and our goal is to win these games and then get to the playoffs. And so it's a playoff atmosphere, and going versus a rival and things like that. So it's good for us to be able to find ways to rally, and obviously we want to focus on having a better outcome and starting faster and all these different things. But it's definitely it's definitely useful for us.
We'll be a playoff team once we earn enough wins to become a playoff team. So right now we're a 9-win team, and I don't think 9 wins is going to get you in this year. So we got to do what we can to get enough wins to find a way to get in the tournament.
And to Ben Johnson's point, with that loss, the Bears fall out of the top seed in the NFC all the way to the 7th and final playoff spot. The Packers move up to number 2. The Rams have the best record in the conference after a win over Arizona. But remember, the Bears and Packers will meet again on Saturday, December 20th. And you can, of course, watch that game right here on Fox Chicago. Later in sports, we'll have plenty more reaction from inside the Bears locker room. Don?
Well, thank you, Tina. The Bears-Packers rivalry is the NFL's oldest rivalry, but there is so much more to this grudge match than history. Scott Schneider spoke to Bears fans and a few Green Bay faithful to find out why this game just matters more.
Go Bears, baby! Let's go! Go Pack! The Bears and Packers in a meaningful December game. For Chicago Bears fans, it doesn't get any better than this. We traveled to First Draft in the South Loop to find out why there's no better rivalry in all of football. And there was no shortage of smack talk.
I mean, the oldest rivalry, it's for the division, first place. And the proximity of Green Bay, Chicago, big city versus small town, the Hicks.
In order for it to be a rivalry, the Bears have to win more games. So I wouldn't consider it a rivalry anymore.
No surprise, there's not a lot of respect between these two. After all, there's a lot of bad blood. Which is not to say that even the most bitter of rivals can't leave it all on the field.
We get to be close friends every single day throughout the entire year, but twice a year we get to hate each other, and we still get to enjoy beating up on each other.
If his team wins tonight, we'll get another shot in 2 weeks here in Chicago, and we'll be at the game. So, if it's not tonight, it'll be in 2 weeks.
Whether fans of the Bears or the Cheeseheads, one thing both sides do agree on, the future of this rivalry looks exciting.
They got an offense, we got a defense, so let's see who wins.
It feels good to be relevant, back in the mainstream, prime time.
Yeah, I still think the rivalry is just as good as it has been in the past.
Scott Schneider, Fox 32, Chicago.
Other news are following tonight. A Chicago police officer and 2 other people were shot on the south side early this morning. It happened near 114th and South Duval just before 1 a.m. in the Morgan Park neighborhood. Police say officers were responding to a disturbance call when they found a group of people involved in that altercation. Officers tried to separate everyone when someone's gun discharged, hitting both an 18-year-old man and a police officer. A second officer returned fire and hit both a 35-year-old man and the 18-year-old victim. The officer was shot in the chest. He had a protective vest on and was released from the hospital. The 18-year-old and 35-year-old man were taken to the hospital in fair condition. The Civilian Office of Police Accountability is investigating. Crews battle a large fire at a vacant building in Indianapolis. The fire department said neighbors reported an overnight rave party inside that building with between 50 and 100 people there until about 4 in the morning. It says the building has been vacant for more than 20 years and has been repeatedly broken into by squatters. The fire department says it took more than 3 hours to get the flames under control. No one was hurt. The country marking a solemn anniversary. Today marks 84 years since the attack on Pearl Harbor. The wreaths were placed at the National World War II Memorial's Freedom Wall to honor those killed in the attack. More than 2,400 American service members were killed when Japan launched airstrikes on the U.S. naval and air bases in Pearl Harbor in 1941. President Trump issued a proclamation calling for the American people to observe the solemn day and to honor the military, past and present. Cardinal Blaise Cupich presided over a mass at the Cook County Jail. This was one of several masses held by archbishops at prisons across the country today. This happening ahead of Pope Leo's special mass of the Jubilee of Prisoners. The Catholic Church says it's a unique opportunity to reflect on the Christian values of mercy and reconciliation. And another event today to mark World AIDS Day. It was Monday of last week, but today Howard Brown Health had a free event for the community. It was held at Gallery Gouchard on 47th Street in Bronzeville. Legacy and Liberation 2 brought together health experts and advocates to reflect and recommit to the fight against HIV and AIDS.
The message is to raise awareness about HIV and AIDS. HIV and AIDS is still a real issue in our community, and black women are being impacted at the highest numbers, even though they don't represent the highest number in the community. So we wanted to do something that was meaningful, something fun to bring awareness. We don't have to be in a clinic all the time to bring awareness about health issues, and just because medication has met the issue, it doesn't mean that we stop bringing awareness and commemorating for the people that did not have the opportunity to take these medicines, to let them know that we remember them, we appreciate them, and we will protect the people who are still here today.
There were performances and HIV screenings and a rapid start prep station for people to test and start treatment the same day. Howard Brown Health serves more than 40,000 patients per year and more than 25% of Chicago's population living with HIV. They also provide primary care, dental, and behavioral health services. Still ahead, many people on Chicago's southwest side are still feeling the impact from devastating flooding this past year. Up next, we dig into the data and hear people's pleas for help before the problems get worse. Chicago was hit hard by severe storms at least twice this past summer. Storms so severe that the city and Cook County declared the affected neighborhoods disaster areas after seeing how much flooding they caused. In a special report, Dane Placco takes a look at why those floods were so bad and what the city is doing to prevent future flooding.
You know what, I'm losing everything. I'm not looking for sympathy or compassion, but I just need somebody to show that they care about us here in Gage Park.
Sharon Renee Parrish nearly in tears after a massive flood on the southwest side in late August, on the heels of another catastrophic flood in the same area in July.
It's like a nightmare, a never-ending nightmare.
I had raw sewage in my basement.
Danita Smith of Marquette Park showed us pictures of her basement, another double victim of last summer's 1-2 punch.
Even as being as commissioner, my basement flooded during the rain, so I get it.
Chicago Water Department Commissioner Randy Connor says he can sympathize with frustrated residents after the double deluge. And if it seems Chicago is experiencing more intense flooding events, Connor says there's a reason.
Anybody who does not believe that climate change is real, it really is, because we're seeing it more and more every day because of the amount of rain that we're getting and the severity of the storms.
Connor says both storms this summer, called extreme rainfall events, are good examples.
The chance for some strong storms and flooding continues tonight.
A flood watch is in effect right now.
On July 25th, what meteorologists call a 1,000-year storm brought more than 5.5 inches of rain in just 2 hours in a tight corridor that crossed Chicago's southwest side. Then, on August 16th, it happened again.
60+ mile-per-hour winds, some heavy rains, some flash flooding that occurred earlier.
More than 6 inches of rain fell in nearly the same location over a 24-hour period. At one point, the rain falling at 4.5 inches an hour. Fox Chicago's Unit 32 obtained records through a Freedom of Information request showing the city received more than 2,000 reports of basement flooding from the July storm and nearly 7,000 calls to Chicago's 311 service to report basement flooding in August. After reviewing the damage, the city's Office of Emergency Management said the storms destroyed at least 143 homes and damaged about 6,000.
It just overwhelms the system, and again, the system is designed to only hold so much water, and once the system gets to capacity, the water has to go somewhere.
Connor says much of Chicago's sewer system, which handles both stormwater and sewer water, was built over a century ago and simply isn't equipped to handle these new intense storms.
So knowing this is the new normal, what do you do?
Well, so we're doing a lot of things, right? So we're piloting a bunch of different things. Moving forward, we're going to be doing some grid sewer cleaning, which will actually help the system a lot more. We're also doing a pilot program for what we're calling some storage tanks.
Among those fixes, replacing old sewer pipes that are as small as 15 inches in diameter, with new pipes as large as 48 inches wide. But it's slow work. The city plans to replace 6 miles of sewer lines this year, 9 miles next year, in a system that includes thousands of miles of sewer lines. So how does the city decide which pipes to replace?
We take a look at the age of the main itself, and we also look at the break history or look at how many times it's collapsed.
I mean, it's only going to continue to get worse. If we don't address this now and head on with a holistic approach.
IIT political science professor Matthew Shapiro heads the university's Stormwater Infrastructure Project, a group of students and academics studying Chicago's flooding problems. We asked them to look at the 311 calls we obtained from last summer's separate flood events, and they told us it confirms a pattern of underserved communities being hit the hardest.
Disparities shows the Hispanic Latino communities and also the African American communities are vulnerable from these flood events.
They also told us these communities have a natural risk when it comes to flooding because of the city's topography.
The natural drainage pattern of the city goes from different parts of town all towards the I&M Canal in the southwest part. So as water moves from one part of town more quickly, it can end up in the southwest part of town more quickly, and therefore they have more issues with flooding there.
But Chicago's water commissioner says these newly highly localized and intense rain systems don't discriminate.
when you talk about underserved areas, I think that's a misnomer because it all depends on how old the system is. You have parts of the city where the system is back from the 1800s that never experienced flooding, like the west side and the south side. But then you have parts of the city where the system is from the late 1900s, early 2000s that are experiencing flooding.
The holistic approach Shapiro and his team say needs to happen means not only making improvements below ground, like replacing sewer lines and water storage basins, but also making some improvements above ground.
Some alleys have pavers, some have sewer pipes and restrictors to prevent the water from overcharging the sewer system. Some have both.
The Green Alley program started in 2007. 50 alley projects each year spread across 50 wards.
So the alleys are selected by aldermen each year. There's a capital bond program to select one alley per ward through that. Green alleys can also be built with aldermanic menu funds.
While Shapiro and his team say green alleys are an important part to helping reducing flooding in Chicago, they do have a concern about where they are being built.
These we found have been disproportionately distributed, not necessarily one per ward, but it's haphazard at best.
Unit 32 looked at the location of the city's nearly 500 green alleys and found the 40th ward on the north side has the most, 35. But just 3 green alleys in the 15th ward where last summer's flooding occurred. The 9th ward doesn't have any.
Not every alley needs this green alley treatment. Some alleys just happen to have what we call sheet flow, where the water will drain naturally to a catch basin in the street or in the alley itself. But in cases where the water doesn't have anywhere to go, these green alleys are really, really helpful for those situations. As climate change gets worse, that might increase. There might be more alleys in the future that are needed.
And in a move that some say adds insult to injury, the Trump administration last month denied federal disaster funding to help Chicago flood victims, but approved similar relief for Republican-leading states. The city says it plans to appeal that decision. For Unit 32, I'm Dane Placco.
We're continuing to get a glimpse of the snowfall across our area. Mary Lou Hamilton sent us this photo from Arlington Heights. You can see everything on her deck is completely covered in snow. I drove out there actually Friday and it was slippery, Emily.
I know.
How are
it's
you?
just one after the next, after the next, after the next. And guess what? We have a little more of that this week, too.
You're busy.
Yes, we're going to stay very busy in the weather department over the next several days. So this week, we have quite a few systems that are going to be kind of parading through the region. Now, toward the middle of this week, Tuesday and Wednesday, we're actually counting on high temperatures, though, that are going to be above the freezing mark. So some of that precipitation may come down as kind of a messy, wintry mix, a little bit of rain mixing in with snow. So we're going to have a mix Tuesday into Wednesday, but then by Thursday and Friday, temperatures are going to drop in a pretty big way. So any precipitation that's going to be around the region, it will be in the form of snow late this week. Temperatures, we're already down to about 8 degrees in Woodstock. It's 9 in DeKalb, 11 in Aurora, 21 at the Chicago Lakefront, 28 in Gary, 24 in Merrillville, down to 17 in Valparaiso. Same thing at O'Hare. Wind chill temperatures are already down a few degrees below zero across the far west and northwestern sections. So that breeze is making a really big difference out there this evening. Futurecast taking us throughout the rest of this evening and tonight. Small chance that we could be seeing a couple isolated lake effect snow showers. So far, the radar is quiet, but we're going to be watching for this to develop over the next few hours. But again, very isolated in nature, little to no accumulation with any of those snow showers that do develop. And then going into early tomorrow, we're waking up likely in the teens, low to mid-teens for most areas. And then through the day, we're going to be warming up into the lower 20s. That's really about as well as we can do, possibly mid-20s. Closer to the lakefront, skies are going to be mostly cloudy. And then if you have plans Monday evening, by 6, 7 p.m. or so, we're already dropping down into the teens again. For tonight, 15 degrees for your overnight low in the city and the immediately surrounding areas. Most outlying areas dropping down to the single digits tonight. 5-day forecast tomorrow, 24, mostly cloudy. We have that rain-snow mix moving in late Tuesday. That's going to last into Wednesday. Highs are going to be above freezing the middle of this week, but then we are dropping in a big way, mid-20s by Thursday, low 20s by Friday, and it gets even colder, Dawn, as we go into this upcoming weekend.
All right, we'll get ready. Thanks, Emily. It's a debate many people have around the holidays. Do you get a real Christmas tree or a fake one? We dig into the pros and cons of both. And a CDC panel no longer recommending that newborns get the hepatitis B vaccine. Hear from those in favor of the rollback and those who say it is dangerous. After much debate, a CDC vaccine advisory committee voted to change a decades-long vaccine recommendation for newborns. They are no longer recommending that babies get the hepatitis B shot on the day they are born. Rich Edson has more.
8 votes yes and 3 votes no. The motion passes.
A federal vaccine advisory committee voted Friday to end the long-standing recommendation that all newborns in the United States receive the hepatitis B vaccine on the day they're born. Those in favor of the rollback argue there's been too little testing of the vaccine. They say babies should only be exposed to it at birth if their mother tests positive for hepatitis B.
If the mom is Hep B negative, which is the vast majority of women who deliver babies in the United States today, and they want to delay it until the kid is 8 or 10 or 12, let's be honest, hepatitis B is a sexually transmitted and bloodborne pathogen. So doctors have moved to a nuanced approach.
Meanwhile, vaccine proponents say routine shots help ensure all children born in the U.S. have lifelong protection.
We've heard do no harm is a moral imperative. We are doing harm by changing this wording, and I vote no.
Hepatitis B is a serious liver infection. It's spread through contact with bodily fluids, and mothers can pass it to their children. While some cases can resolve in just weeks, children are more prone to developing lifelong health issues, like liver failure, if they are infected.
I don't like the fact that 90% of newborns that get it have a problem because of it. I don't like this disease. It's preventable.
The committee now recommends the hepatitis B vaccine series only after a child is at least 2 months old. In Washington, Rich Edson, Fox 32 Chicago.
The debate about hemp rages on. A city committee approved a ban on selling it. Who this would impact? Emily.
It's sure getting cold out there this evening, but it's going to be even colder this coming weekend. So next weekend, we have another blast of Arctic air that's going to arrive. Those details coming up.
Fox Local.
Our area seeing even more snow overnight. George sent us this photo from Valparaiso. A nice shot of the snow right next to the water and the colorful trees. And here's another photo from Indiana. This one provided by Teresa. The branches covered in white. ice and snow combination, I'm sure. But it makes for a beautiful picture, doesn't it?
Gorgeous.
But boy, are the streets in many areas still slippery, the sidewalks. You got to be so careful now.
Right, and especially now that the temperatures are dropping again tonight. You know, it's going to be another very cold night ahead. We already have wind chill temperatures for a lot of us that are dropping below 0.
Oh, great.
So, I know. Here we go again. But you know what I can say is that we have a midweek warm-up that's going to come our way. So we're actually going to be in the 30s by Tuesday and Wednesday. And if you're thinking like, okay, great, that's a wonderful thing, but it's coming along with the chance of a rain-snow mixture. So it's just going to make a mess of all of the snow that we do have out there. So we're going to have a lot of slush, I think, that we're dealing with by the middle of this week. Wind chill temperatures right now, feeling like 5 below in DeKalb, feeling like 9 degrees below 0 in LaSalle, 2 in Morris, 3 below in Aurora, so definitely colder out west. Closer to the lakefront, the Chicago Metro, that's where we're seeing wind chills that are still holding on to the double digits, just barely in a couple spots. But again, it is cold out there this evening. It's going to stay that way going into tomorrow. Your out-the-door forecast for tomorrow. We're going to start off the day in the teens, warming only into the 20s, just by a few degrees. We're going to be around 24 degrees for your high temperature in the afternoon. Skies are going to be mostly cloudy. Then 30s are expected to build in by Tuesday. Average for this time of the year, by the way, is right around 39 degrees or so. And by the middle of this week, average is going to be around 38. So seasonably cold on Tuesday and Wednesday, but we do have that storm system that's going to arrive late Tuesday, lasting into Wednesday, and that's going to be bringing us a rain-snow mix. Dawn.
Thanks, Emily. Chicago is taking a harder look at hemp. This week, the city's Committee on License and Consumer Protection approved a ban on hemp sales, a move that is sparking plenty of buzz both for and against. Casey Cronus has the debate stirring at City Hall.
In a 10-6 vote, the ban passed committee and will next make its way to the full city council. Those in support of the ban say this is about safety, while the people against it tell us their livelihoods are on the line. There is growing controversy over a hemp ban that could be planted across the city. If adopted by the full council, a citywide ban would shut down the sale of hemp-derived products that contain chemical compounds found in cannabis, unless sold by licensed cannabis dispensaries. It comes ahead of a federal hemp ban set to take effect next November.
My next step is to begin working to get 26 votes on an ordinance. I don't think it was a coincidence that once I put the ban down with Alderman Tabarrus, all of our suburbs also started putting the ban down. So there is a shadiness to this industry.
The local ban was proposed by alders Marty Quinn and Silvana Tabarrus, who have stopped hemp sales in their own wards, standing by their belief that bad actors are endangering customers and kids.
There has been talk about how the city can profit from these dangerous narcotics, but public health is not for sale.
But those who spoke out against the ordinance say an outright ban would crush mom-and-pop businesses across the city and argue it would harm customers that depend on their products for various medical conditions. Instead, they're calling for responsible regulations, like banning the products for anyone under 21.
Instead, you put it all to the side. You encourage those bad actors that you are trying to remove. You're enabling them when we need to regulate the beverages that we already have in the market that we already have.
The Illinois Healthy Alternatives Association and the Illinois Black Hemp Association urging city leaders to take a closer look at the ordinance and its sweeping implications.
That would create a further monopoly by the marijuana industry. Alderman Quinn has taken a position of basically throwing out the baby with the bathwater.
We test our products. We are industry leaders. And this is what we stand.
A total of 7 wards, with 3 others pending, have already banned the sale of hemp products. Now the ordinance is off to the full council for a vote in the coming weeks. Reporting at City Hall, Casey Cronus, Fox 32, Chicago.
The Women's Justice Institute hosted its 9th annual Deck the Halls, Free Them All holiday celebration. Formerly incarcerated artists sold original paintings, books, and handmade crafts. There was also a holiday gift drive supporting women and families impacted by incarceration.
When we come together as community, it shows solidarity. It shows that we are connected. It shows that we care. And it shows that you're basically not alone.
Families were also able to receive legal services and resources to help find jobs. Patients at La Rabida Children's Hospital got to feel fashionable and fabulous. The hospital hosted its annual dress event. The tween girls boutique, Frankie's on the Park, provided racks of beautiful dresses and party clothes for patients to wear. The girls also got to style and accessorize their outfits to match the manicures they got from volunteers there. The owner of Frankie's talked about why this happens every year and what it means to her.
It always amazes me how simple something like a dress, how happy that can make a girl.
This is the 17th year that La Rabida and Frankie's have teamed up for this dress event. A long time. Well, a different kind of holiday experience at the fashion outlets of Chicago. The mall taking part in the 5th annual sensory-friendly Santa experience this morning. The event took place before the shopping center opened. The visits with Santa were more accessible to those with sensory, physical, and developmental needs. And the Nutcracker is hitting the ice. Creative Ice Theater performing a dress rehearsal, look at this, for the Nutcracker on Ice at Seven Bridges Arena in Woodridge. More than 100 skaters of all skill levels are taking part in the show. There are guest performances by national and international competitors. The group is putting on 3 shows starting next week. Again, this is in Woodridge. Tina.
I'm Tina Wynn. Well, the Bears looked good in coming back, but in the end, the Packers were better. Up next in sports, inside the locker room for more reaction from a tough loss that drops the Bears out of first in the NFC North.
Stream.
Welcome back. Time now for sports. Well, all season long, the theme for the Chicago Bears had been finding ways to win. And once again, they found themselves having to come back late in the fourth quarter, only to run out of magic this time. With more post-game reaction in Green Bay, here's Cassie Carlson.
With first place in the NFC and division on the line for Chicago heading into this game, they dropped to 7th in the NFC standings after their loss to the Packers. The Bears said they didn't play good enough football in the first half, felt like they came out in the second half looking like a different team. But head coach Ben Johnson said the Packers simply made more plays. And on 4th and 1 with the game on the line, the Bears felt confident in their play call.
I mean, we got a lot of options there. I don't know exactly who's going to pop necessarily, but between the options that we have and then Caleb using his legs, was hopeful we could find a way to get a yard there.
You know, rolled out and saw Cole and tried to give him a big boy ball, try and let him go up for it, because I ended up seeing 25 starting to sprint, and so tried to slow him up and kind of give him a chance in those moments. It's got to have it moment, and they had a guy trailing me, and so didn't feel that I could go get it myself, and so just got to give Cole a better shot at it.
I felt like I kind of popped on the corner. I don't know. There's a million other things going on that Caleb's got to dissect in front of him. So, yeah, just a tough way to end it, obviously.
So their offense is out of the field in that moment.
that we were going to win the game. They were going to score, go for two, and win the game. That was our thought process on defense.
We just didn't play clean enough in that first half to be able to kind of make the comeback there towards the end. But like I said, this team is resilient. We definitely still believe that we was going to come back and win the game. But it just, time ran out.
These two teams will meet again at Soldier Field in just 13 days. Caleb Williams said their focus right now remains on the Cleveland Browns, but playing in a playoff-like atmosphere here at Lambeau Field is a good lesson for this team as they hope to punch their ticket to the playoffs. At Lambeau Field, Cassie Carlson, Fox 32 Sports.
2007, they've lost 27 of their last 31 meetings, 15 of their last 18 at Lambeau Field, and the Packers now have 109 wins all-time against the Bears, breaking a tie for most wins by one team over another. And as a reminder, they'll meet again Saturday, December 20th at 7:20, and you can watch that game right here on Fox Chicago. The Bears conversation continues after the news here at 9. Lou Canellis and I will be joined by David Hogg of The Score and Adam Abdallah of ESPN 1000 for Chicago Sports Tonight. And then at 10:30, Lou and Anthony Herron will have a full breakdown of the Bears and Packers game on Bears Game Night Live. All right, the college football playoff field unveiled today. The big news, Notre Dame is the first team out, and they have withdrawn from consideration for a bowl game. Notre Dame lost to Miami in the season opener, but was consistently above them in the weekly rankings until today, when both Miami and Alabama got the last two at-large bids as part of a memorandum of understanding signed last year. Notre Dame would be guaranteed a playoff berth if it finishes in the top 12 starting next season. Meanwhile, no surprise that Indiana gets the #1 seed after upsetting Ohio State for the Big Ten title last night. The Hoosiers were the losing program in major college football 2 years ago. This is their second straight playoff appearance and their first ever #1 ranking. They'll face the winner of Alabama and Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day. And some other notable bowl games involving the Big Ten, as reported yesterday by On3. Illinois will play in the Music City Bowl in Nashville on December 30th. Tennessee is their opponent. The Illini on the verge of winning 9 or more games in back-to-back seasons for the first time ever. And Northwestern takes on Central Michigan in the Game Above Sports Bowl in Detroit on the 26th. All right, in the NBA, Bulls have lost 6 straight. Didn't get any better against the Warriors. Third quarter, Bulls down 19. Former Bull Jimmy Butler here picks off the pass, loose ball. Warriors come up with it, and Buddy Hield lays it in here. Bulls lose by 32. You heard that right. Their second most lopsided loss of the season. To the ice, Blackhawks wrapping up a road trip in Anaheim. Third period, Ducks up 4-0. Blackhawks turn the puck over here. Ducks on the rush. Leo Carlson shoots here. Goes top shelf for the goal. 1 of 2 on the night for Carlson. Game just went final. Blackhawks lose 7-1. We are back with more after this break.
Weather Authority.
You may still be deciding between a real or artificial Christmas tree. Ted Linder takes a look at the pros and cons of both.
As more families start preparing to decorate for the holidays, many are facing the choice of whether to pick out a real or artificial Christmas tree for the season.
There's a lot of tradition and family stories and other really important things built into that.
If sustainability is important to you, Dr. Jennifer Russell, Associate Professor at Virginia Tech, says a main factor to take into consideration is how long you're planning on using your tree for.
So real trees are fantastic. They make our houses smell great. They're bringing nature into our home, but they have a life cycle of 1 year, right? So they'll have to grow for 7 to 8 years to be used once, and then they're going to be disposed. And the advantage of an artificial tree in that context is that it's very energy intensive and high impact to make that tree the first time, but then you can use it for many, many years. And so it's much more durable.
Because of the plastic and metal materials in artificial trees, Dr. Russell says they should be kept and reused for a minimum of 7 years in order to have lower overall impacts on the environment compared to buying a real tree every year.
There's such a high upfront investment of energy and impact, but the longer that you use it, the more you can kind of amortize or to allocate those impacts over time compared to a real Christmas tree.
Meanwhile, Dr. Russell also recommends avoiding artificial trees with lights built in to help expand their life cycles.
Bulbs are more likely to go, and electrical wires are more likely to be degraded over time.
Ted Linder, Fox News.
Well, this is certainly a real tree. The snow put one woman in the holiday spirit. Look at that. Monica sending us this photo from Antioch. She put lights on that snowy tree. Beautiful and cute picture.
Yes, that just reminds me of childhood.
Yeah, he does,
doesn't it? Like your family decorating outside, the snow falling on the lights, just stunning out there.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's take a look at what we have ahead of us over the next couple of days here. So tomorrow's going to be cold. We're in the 20s, and typically for this time of the year, your average high is right around 39. So again, tomorrow we're coming in about 10 to 15 degrees below average, but then we're going to be on target going into the middle portion of this week. So by Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to be in the mid to upper 30s before another blast of Arctic air is going to be here late this week. And for those of you thinking, okay, 20s isn't that bad, just keep in mind what's seasonable for this time of December, because it is still pretty close to 40 degrees. So when we're forecasting highs that are only going to be in the teens and 20s by this upcoming weekend, that is very, very cold for this time of the year. Satellite and radar, things are quiet for now. We do have a system that's off to our west, not really going to be impacting us in the near term. Tomorrow, we're going to have this high pressure system just kind of passing on by, and then we're going to be in and out of the cloud cover tomorrow. Mostly cloudy skies expected during the afternoon hours of tomorrow. Temperatures are only going to be in the 20s. And then going into Tuesday morning, we're still dry. But then going into Tuesday evening, into the overnight, we're going to have this next storm system moving through. That's going to be bringing us the chance of snow, but also some rain too, because your temperatures on Tuesday are actually expected to be in the mid to upper 30s. We're going to stay in that range going into Wednesday, but this storm system is going to create a lot of wind. So even though we have high temperatures in the 30s, it's not going to be feeling like the 30s, because we're going to have very gusty winds, sending those wind chill temperatures very easily down to the lower 20s. So for tonight, 15 degrees in the city, the immediately surrounding areas, Northwest Indiana, a lot of you closer to the lakefront, also going to be in the teens. Outlying areas can plan on single digits tonight. 7-day forecast tomorrow, 24, mostly cloudy, 36 degrees. We have that rain snow mix moving in late Tuesday. That's going to linger into Wednesday. By Thursday and Friday, we have a chance for scattered snow showers. But temperatures are going to be cooling down in a big way. Do you see that overnight low going into your weekend? Low temps are going to be near 0, but wind chill temperatures very easily could once again be down to about 10, maybe 15 degrees below 0. So very cold conditions for the upcoming weekend. Dawn.
Oh boy, thanks, Emily. It's a somewhat hidden gem, a mermaid sculpture right on Lake Michigan. Up next, we dig into how it was made in tonight's Monument Moment. Did you know there is a mermaid in Chicago right on Lake Michigan? And did you know it was sculpted by several artists who never got permission to do it? Dane Placco has a look in tonight's Monument Moment.
There may be no mermaids in Lake Michigan, but there's one living on the beach on Chicago's South Side. In a quiet corner of Burnham Park, just south of Oakwood Beach, visitors are surprised to find a massive mermaid carved in stone, just steps from the sandy beach. It came to life in 1986 when, over a 2-week period, a group of Chicago artists surreptitiously and without permission carved the mermaid from a giant block of limestone on an outcropping that had been part of a retaining wall holding back the waves in Burnham Park. The daughter of one of the artists served as a model for the whimsical sculpture. Their goal was to create a mermaid that looked as though she had just fallen asleep after swimming ashore from Lake Michigan. For years, the origin of the mermaid remained a mystery, locals speculating it was a leftover remnant from the 1893 Columbian Exposition. Then, in 2000, the Chicago Sun-Times broke the story and revealed the identities of the 4 sculptors. In 2004, the Chicago Park District began repairing and replacing the retaining wall. And when the public demanded the mermaid be saved, the Park District removed the sculpture and placed it in storage, where a group of students worked with the original artist to restore the mermaid to her original beauty. In 2010, after the Shoreline project was finished, the mermaid was moved back to Burnham Park, no longer part of the retaining wall, but in her own resting spot, where she will continue to surprise and amuse passing pedestrians, bikers, and beachgoers for generations to come.
We'll be right back. All right, one final check.
One final check. You almost beat me to it, Dawn. 7-day forecast for you. I wish I was more excited to tell you about what's on the forecast this week, but you know, it's just kind of more of the same. Below average conditions most of this week, but we do have a midweek warm-up. So Tuesday and Wednesday, we have a chance of rain mixing in with snow, so it could get a little messy out there for us. Tuesday evening into Wednesday, highs are going to be in the mid to upper 30s. That, by the way, is where we should be for this early in December. But then following that storm system, It's going to get cold again by the end of this week. We have temperatures that are dropping on Friday. So Friday night, we're going down to about 0. Wind chill temperatures could be as cold as about 15 below going into the weekend. I know, it's not good at all.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Good Day Chicago starts tomorrow morning at 4:30. We'll see you tomorrow night. Good night.
Take a break.